Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our fourth and final week of our free meditation series. I hope you've been enjoying the past few weeks. I hope that you've gotten something out of it. And more importantly, I hope that you've been trying to practice every day, both formally, on the meditation cushion or on your chair, and then informally uh, in your daily life. So I figured, just in case this is your first time hopping on here, that we'll quickly kind of just go through the past few weeks. And then I really wanted to open it up, even though this has been a kind of shy group, but I do want to open it up for questions and answers. You have me here. You've been coming the past few weeks, and I want to just make sure that I've set you in a good direction. You have a clear understanding. So, bringing it back to week one, we kind of talked about a lot of things, really, but mainly how meditation is more than just some new thing that you do for 5 minutes a day, right? It's not just about sitting still and breathing for a couple minutes a day. It's how do I relate to my life moment by moment, every moment. So it's not just about feeling good. It's not just about de-stressing. It's not about shutting off our thoughts. It's about showing up fully to our lives from a very different place, right? And that very different place is awareness, right? That which knows, the one who knows, that silent witness, that mirror-like awareness that just knows what's happening. And again, what does that mean? Well, if you just close your eyes and you notice, what your mind is doing, well, that's awareness. There's something that is knowing these mental objects that are arising in your mind, just like there's something knowing the sounds that you're hearing right now. Or if I asked you to pay attention to your body, if there were any aches, pains, stiffness, or if it felt nice, relaxed, feeling the breath, something is here that is aware and present to the experience that we're having, right? So there's, we're not just like two rocks in space banging into each other and no conscious awareness. There's something that knows, hey, there's an experience happening, and this is what the experience is. And that's the main part of this practice, is coming home to that place, right? And why do we want to do that? Well, first of all, that place is a place of ease, a place of what I define as profound okayness. If you're not paying attention, then you don't know what's driving your life. For those of us who have never done meditation, for those of us who have never paused and observed our thoughts, observed our behaviors, observed the emotions and the emotional patterns that we are constantly being, thrown around we are living an unconscious life. And maybe that doesn't bother you, and that's fine. You can go on living unconsciously. But most of our unconscious living causes a lot of unnecessary suffering, causes a lot of harm, and is usually not very skillful or in line with what's true in life. And this is where meditation comes in. And we started out that first week with, talking a lot about right view or right views, right? Views about meditation, what it is, what it isn't. Views about life, the laws that govern our lives, simple things that you'll hear all the time, especially if you join one of my classes. Everything changes and ends, impermanence. It's not a belief. It's just a fact of existence. Something that you can look at your life and realize. So I'm not asking you to believe anything. These 4 weeks is not getting a new belief system. None of this practice is about belief. It's about seeing for yourself, seeing clearly what's true, then lining yourself up with that truth so that you cause the least amount of problems for yourself and people around you, and so that you're clear enough to figure out how you can help. How can I help? So I hope that clarifies a lot of things. I mean, because we come to this practice with tons of expectations. We come to this practice with tons of ideas, what we're going to get out of it, what it's supposed to be like. What is it going to, what is the experience going to be like? What am I supposed to feel? What's supposed to happen? And all of these beliefs that we bring to practice actually make our practice more difficult and more unsatisfactory. So, if you can understand from the beginning that it's not about shutting off your mind, it's not about fixing everything in your life, it's not about being happy all the time, it's not about never being stressed out again, but it's really about showing up fully to your life and opening completely and learning to be with things the way they are. So if you read a lot about meditation, you might hear phrases like that: things as they are, being at ease with things as they are. So when we understand that meditation is practicing to be with things as they are fully, completely, in a very open and relaxed way, well, then it becomes pretty easy, right? I'm just sitting here and I'm noticing what's happening, which doesn't take effort. It doesn't take effort to notice what's happening, right? You don't have to try to listen to my voice. Your ears just hear the sound and the mind knows what I'm saying. And then the awareness is aware of that whole process. So you don't have to try to hear sounds. You don't have to try to feel sensations. You don't have to try to notice what your mind is doing. It's already happening. And that's what makes it so simple. You just need to come back home to that awareness that's always shining, that's always present, that's always underneath experience. That is the base of all experience. And in that way, practice is so simple. But if you sit down and you think, well, I heard I'm supposed to quiet my mind, and I'm going to give this a try, and I sit down, and the mind is all over the place. You can't focus, you can't concentrate, you're worrying about this, you're thinking about that. And because you have the expectation, I'm not supposed to think, my mind is supposed to get quiet, then when you sit there, you feel like, well, this isn't working. And I get that all the time. I tried it, Mark, but it doesn't work for me. And my first question is, what do you mean when you say it doesn't work? What isn't working? And usually the response is, I can't shut off my mind. And I say, well, you don't need to. And actually, good luck if you're trying that, right? Your mind is an organ. It's made to think. That's what it does. It's not about stopping it. It's not about getting rid of it. It's just relating differently to it. And when you relate in an open, kind of non-attached way, you're not engaging and indulging with your thoughts, yes, naturally they do quiet down. Does it stay that way forever? No. Is it anything special having no thoughts? Not really. You're just sitting here and it's a little quieter. So again, if you have the wrong idea, if you have unrealistic expectation, you're setting yourself up for failure, not because meditation is a problem, not because you're a problem, but because the ideas you have are not in line with what the practice is really about. So I spend a lot of time talking about right views on practice, right views on life, because if we have a wrong view on life, what's a good one? Okay, I can find some permanent happiness if I just jump through all the hoops and I, get everything in order and just do this, that, and this, and I find that perfect house and that perfect partner and this, get the job that I want, right amount of money, then I'll be happy. Then I'll, finally be able to relax and enjoy my life, and we'll all live happily ever after. And that's just not realistic. So then when you come to practice with that wrong view on life, you think, well, man, meditation is the answer. I've heard all about it. It's going to solve all my problems. I just need to meditate every day for 30 minutes and go on retreats and find the right teacher. And then it's all going to fall into place and everything's going to be well. Life's not like that. So then you're doing the practice, maybe you feel good, but then something in your life happens that makes you feel bad and you think, man, this practice didn't do anything. It's not true. Life changes. That's true. You go from happy to being disappointed, to being sad, to being angry. These things come and go, no problem. But if we have the idea that I'm supposed to be happy, life's supposed to go the way I want it to go, and all these other false beliefs that are not in line with what's true, then we come to meditation and we get frustrated because we're not getting what we think we're supposed to be getting. The practice is not fitting the little bubble we made of what we think practice is. And this is a big problem for beginners. So if you're just starting to really look at what you're looking for, and not to say that you won't get it with practice, but that you're not going to get exactly what you're looking for in exactly the way that you're looking for. That's the best way I can answer. Like, there are fruits to this practice, but you don't get what you think you're going to get. And it's not bad. I honestly think it's better. I don't want to be happy all the time. It's not realistic, and it's really impossible. But to be able to honor my sadness, to be able to honor my anxiety, to be able to honor grief and pain, illness, aging, all of the natural human experiences we have, to be able to honor it from a place of ease. And that's what I really want to offer you guys out there, watching this, is that there is a place within our body and mind that you can take refuge in, that can hold all the 10,000 joys and sorrows of your life. And it's already who you are on the most fundamental, deepest level. But we've forgotten that. And we've got so caught up in the content of our mind, the stories, the likes, the dislikes, what I call me world, self-centered thinking. We're so caught in that self-centered thinking that we forget the basic openness of mind, the basic ease of mind, the joy, the wisdom, the compassion, all of the qualities that we're looking for, they're already who we are. And meditation is a way to repeatedly come home to that place and slowly start to make your home there. Because that space is not conditioned by your life. That space is not conditioned by your mood, by your thoughts, by your emotions, by the state of your body, healthy or sick, young or old. That part of your mind is free. So there is a freedom, and it's here now. It's not somewhere else. It's not after 5 years of therapy or after you exercise for a while or whatever you think it is. It's right here. How can it be anywhere else? This is the only thing we have, right here. There's nothing beyond this moment. There's just this moment. So if we're expecting to be at peace later, later doesn't come. Later is always a thought about some time that's not here now. And if we think, oh, well, I had it and now I lost it, well, that's a pretty useless thought too. Because what's done is finished. What's happened before this moment is gone. You can't hold on to it. You can't get it back. So right here, right now, whatever the conditions are, those are enough for peace. Those are enough for ease. And, peace and ease doesn't mean that you don't feel bad sometimes, that bad things or unpleasant or painful things can't happen. They surely can. Life is uncertain. It will always be uncertain whether you meditate or not. But to have a place where you can come back to and hold the moment and hold yourself and just let things be the way they are, that's where you start to get a taste of ease. When you're finally done running away from your real life. And we talked about hopelessness a little bit, and not suicide or like wanting to give up on living, but giving up on the hope for some other time, some other place. Giving up that there's somewhere else, because there isn't. There's just this. And when you finally stop running around, and sometimes you need to exhaust yourself for years trying to do this. I don't believe that guy on YouTube. I need to travel for a little. I need to go on this retreat. I need to do yoga. I need to do that, and you can go ahead. You can go ahead and try. But I think you'll end up right here at some point. And you'll be like, oh, I can't be anywhere else. And no matter what I do, how much I run away, how many experiences I have, they all come and go. And I'm left with this right here. And that's when you really start to go deep. That's when you really start to feel that sense of ease, when you can recognize that this is all you have. And then you can soften into it. Then life becomes something I work with here and now, a workable situation, rather than something that I need to get rid of or change or fix. And of course, again, this doesn't mean that you don't try to make changes in your life, right? It's just the mind that meets that. Like, I'm trying to teach meditation more because I think it's the best use of my time as a human being. If I don't teach any more than I teach now for the rest of my life, that's okay. That's what my life is. But am I still trying to do everything I can to get more talks, to get in front of more people? Of course. So it's like, you still live, you still take care of yourself, you still take care of your life, but you come from a very different place, a place that understands, hey, even if life doesn't change, which it will, it has to, but even if life doesn't change, and this is how it is the rest of my life, I'm okay with that. And I will continue to do things to make it a little better. So it sounds like a paradox, it sounds like nonsensical, but you can balance those two. So anyway, going on a little bit about view, right? That was the first week, really just clarifying what meditation is and what the views are that we kind of get confused about, so that we can start reflecting and contemplating and turning toward what's true. The second week, I believe we talked a little bit about ARC, which is awareness, relaxation, and kindness. And this is basically my acronym for meditation. And it's the how to, it's the why, it's the qualities we're cultivating. Right? We have awareness. How do you do it? You consciously start paying attention. You let go of judgments. You bring a sense of warmth, curiosity, and a willingness to be there. So those are qualities, but they're also the practice. How do I do this, Mark? It's Wednesday afternoon. What do I do right now? Consciously start noticing what's happening. Let go of judgments about what's happening. Let go of the story, the ideas. Bring a sense of warmth. Become curious. What is this experience I'm having? What are thoughts? What are emotions? Where do they come from? Where do they go? What happens if I don't touch them or get involved with them? Right? Curiosity is so important. Be curious. And then be willing to be there. And honestly, if you're being curious and letting go of judgments, you're already willing to be here. And when you practice that over and over again, that will leak into your daily life. And you'll go out into your life, and no matter what happens, you're willing to be there with it. You get this fearlessness, and you get this courage and resilience when you recognize, hey, I can be with this. I know this moment will change, And maybe right now it's really unpleasant and difficult, but I can pause with that. And I was working with a new client just the other day, and she was dealing with some heaviness from depression, anxiety. And I said, all right, are you feeling it right now? And she said, yeah. So I said, well, where are you feeling it? And she said, it's in my chest. So I just had her bring her hand to her heart, have her close her eyes. And I said, see what happens if you just let yourself feel it. If you give yourself full permission to open to it, you give the depression, the heaviness, you give it full permission to be right there, to be what it is. You want to get bigger, get bigger. You want to squeeze all of my body, go ahead, get as big as you want, do whatever you want to my body as I sit with you. I'm listening, I'm here, it's okay, let me feel this. And within a matter of 30 seconds, I asked, well, how's it feel? And she said, it's already getting smaller. And after a few moments, she started to feel a sense of calm, a sense of ease. And although it was a little foreign for her, she was able to do it. And I didn't hypnotize her. I don't have any magic tools, or, I'm not a magician or like a witch doctor or something like that. I don't do anything. I point you back to something that's already there within you. And if you're not fighting these parts of yourself that you struggle with, then they are what they are, right? They just are what they are in that moment. They come, they express themselves, and they go. Maybe they come back an hour later, but the same thing can happen. And you can slowly honor what you're feeling and listen. Your feelings want to be heard, they want to be felt. But that's the last thing we ever think to do. We'd rather go drink or do some drugs or eat some food or watch TV or scroll endlessly on our phone instead of show up for our lives, instead of turn toward our suffering and actually bring about a real sense of healing, not some spiritual bypassing going around our pain, going right into it and letting the body metabolize it like it knows how to. Awareness, relaxation, kindness. Awareness is key. Like I said, we have to take this place of refuge so that we can hold everything. However it is, there's room for it. We need to relax. We need to learn to expand our window of tolerance for what we're capable of being with. Think of people who have addictions. Think of when you lash out at someone. Think of someone who commits suicide. What is it that they want in that moment? They want to be free from what they're feeling, right? And all of our neuroses is a movement away from feeling something unpleasant. And what our practice is telling us to do is to turn toward it, get to know it, make friends with it, bring loving kindness to it, hold it with a sense of spaciousness and compassion. And then things start to change because the emotions are screaming at us, just listen to me, just listen to me. And we say, no, I don't want to. I don't want to be around you. I want to distract myself. I want to be somewhere else. I want to feel that other feeling, not this, anything but this. But this is where freedom is, turning toward it. There's no magic pill. So that's the relaxation, is softening into the sharp parts of life, right? The difficult parts. And that's where the K comes in, the kindness, the unconditional friendliness. By letting things be the way they are, we are cultivating unconditional friendliness towards our experience. And once we do that, we're not so busy wasting energy fighting with everything. I don't want this, stay away. And we're, constantly doing this and trying to get that while pushing away this. I want this, no. And you're just exhausting yourself. And You have no energy. You have no drive to do anything because you're shot. You're wasting all your energy. You know? So to be able to just say, oh, now this, right? That's the mind of equanimity, a mind that can say, look, now this. You know, you wake up with a sadness, a heaviness in your chest. Now this, right? Okay. This is how it is right now. These are the conditions. They will change. I don't need to limit my life to them. I can experience them fully, let them come, let them go as they please, and still respond to my life, not limited by my conditioned reactions, my conditioning. So that's ARC. And then last week we kind of discussed the three intentions, right? The first intention being using everything in my life as my practice, that I'm willing to open to everything. You know, I'm going to try to soften into things when I feel like running away or when things feel bad. I'm going to try to open to even that, to even this feeling, even this thought. I'm going to try to be with that experience. And I'm willing to use anything as fertilizer for compassion, for empathy, for wisdom, for understanding. The second intention is the intention to not cause harm. How I speak, how I act, how I live, my livelihood, to the best of my ability to go through my day and not cause any unnecessary suffering in the world for myself or other people. And that in itself is a practice. And that needs what? Awareness. So that goes back to meditation. I need to be aware to know how I'm living in my daily life, to honestly observe it so I can let go of what is unskillful, what is harmful, what is unwholesome, and that I can continue to cultivate the qualities that are wholesome, that, you know, put me in the direction of ease and joy and loving kindness. And then the third quality, intention is, how do I bring the most ease? How do I ease the most suffering? So it's kind of like a twofold thing. You know, how do I not cause harm? But then also, how do I stop harm and bring ease and help people who are struggling and share joy, share happiness? And it doesn't have to be anything crazy. I had a janitor from high school, and now he's a crossing guard in the town I grew up in. And the way that he shares joy every morning is he waves and points. And at first I thought it was the strangest thing. I'm like, this guy's out of his mind. But then, you know, day after day, seeing him, how you doing, buddy? Have a good day. And you start looking forward to it. And you start wanting to see him on that corner. And then you start honking, and you know, and it makes you smile. And, you know, you might be driving to work and being miserable, and then all of a sudden your day changes just because someone decided to show up differently. Someone cared enough to pay attention to the people around them. How can I spread joy? How can I help? So again, I hope that I'm drilling this point that meditation is not just sitting, staring at a wall, breathing. Again, a really important part of it. I'm not saying don't sit. Sit every day, whatever you can do, 3, 5, 20, 30 minutes. 100%, you need that. That's like strengthening the basics, building the foundations. But then it's not like, let me forget about meditation and go on to my life. No, you get up from that cushion and you bring awareness with you. You bring the relaxation, the softening into experience, the opening when you feel like closing. You bring the kindness, not only just being kind, but in how you relate to yourself, your thoughts, your feelings, other people that are difficult, or, you know, whatever, that you're starting to hold the whole experience without just getting lost in reactivity, without just being caught in your conditioning, your patterns and habits that, you know, most of which are survival mechanisms for just surviving your family situation, right? But, you know, it's about freedom. It's about freedom every moment, and it's a practice because we get lost very quickly. So we have to come back. We have to come back to awareness over and over again. We have to be reminded over and over again. And then this is, what my private sessions are about. This is what my paid classes are about. My free classes are about. My, online social media is about. It's to keep reminding you. Don't forget to practice with your life today. Don't forget. Be aware. If you're struggling, well, see what you're holding on to. Why are you suffering? What's causing this maybe unpleasant experience to be suffering? What's causing it to be a problem? Look at that. Contemplate, reflect, be curious. Everything I've been talking about, it's all practice. There's nothing left out. And I love that. There's literally nothing left out. Even the most horrible, painful, difficult, traumatic things are part of practice. They're the ingredients that we need, that we can use to make us more loving, make us more wise, make us more empathic. So it gives everything meaning without having to believe in some wild, crazy stuff. There's nothing to believe, right? Maybe the only belief, the only faith is that you have the ability to wake up, that you have the ability to be free. And that's something that you can see for yourself. And it's as simple as pausing. So I don't want to take up the whole time. I know we're already almost out of time, but I do want to open it up. Are there any questions that I can answer for you? Is there anything I can clarify? I see there's a couple of you out there. Don't be shy. And while I'm waiting for possible questions, I just want to remind you, every Wednesday at 7 o'clock, we meet a mindful living community. It's a small group. We're, getting very close as a group. It's a very compassionate space. We share a little bit about things going on in our lives. I give some teachings. We do some meditation. I really look forward to it. And then we have a retreat. So if you really want to dive in and just get the whole experience and really get set up, July 19th, we're doing a half-day retreat here at Body Positive Works from 12 to 4:30. It's a Saturday. So that's on our website, which I put in the chat. It's under events. My mindful living community is under events. And then I also offer private sessions. And private sessions are great to really go deep into how this practice can help, different ways, we can set things up for you, and then accountability. My clients text me every day when they meditate. So this way I hold them accountable. Hey, I saw you only text me once last week. What happened, right? That's the hardest part, is showing up and practicing. So I help you with that if we are doing private sessions. So if there's any way I can support you guys in your meditative journey, your meditative practice, I'm very easy to find. I have a lot of stuff out there that can help. And, I'm here for you. So I guess there's no questions. So I'll end it with that I'm here to support you and to support your well-being, to support your mental health, to support your meditation practice. So I hope that I'll be seeing you guys again at some point, retreat, privates, or classes. And good luck with your practice. Have a great night.